The holidays may be over, but the lamb and its flock's winter adventures are just beginning. Now that the bishops are defeated and peace has finally reigned over the lands of the old faith, long-forgotten gods are returning to the world. And with them come new problems, as Ingja, the embodiment of frost, brings real winter. In a large and very packed adventure, the lamb must find a way to deal with the frosts, protect its followers, and embark on a journey to the heart of Woolhaven Mountain and its peak to unravel an ancient mystery. The path to Woolhaven opens only after slaying the 4 bishops, which is pretty much the end of the main story campaign. But I'd also recommend fully upgrading your base beforehand, because the DLC can easily make things tougher and fray nerves even for a well-prepared lamb. After all, winter isn't just snow and fun, it's cold, hunger, blizzards, wolves, and a bunch of other troubles. To gain new knowledge, head to Woolhaven, a long-abandoned city where the goddess Ingja once guided her flock. Now that all her followers are dead and Ingja herself is forgotten and powerless, the lamb must track down the souls of her lost flock on the snowy mountain and restore the winter goddess's former might. Listening to her chants is a pure delight. I usually skip dialogue no matter how funny the voice acting is, but Ingja's voice is downright enchanting. You can't settle in Woolhaven itself, but the lamb will visit the city often, gradually bringing it back to life. Awakening ghosts and hearing their stories, helping rebuild homes, taking side quests, and beautifying graves. Woolhaven is also where you launch expeditions. At first, only one location is available for exploration, Woolhaven Mountain, where a free pack led by Marhoshes lives at the very peak. The path to the wolf who took Ingja's place is quite challenging, and Marhoshes himself will periodically appear to complicate life with his trials. But with new curses and weapons, neither he nor his minions are a threat to the lamb. New weapons were shown in the trailer. Marhoshes isn't the only problem in the new adventure. Soon, while exploring the mountain, you'll discover it's infected with rot coming from deep within, and instead of wolves, you'll encounter bizarre worms and other monsters. To find the source, you'll have to burrow tunnels into the mountainside and explore another zone, fighting rotten monsters, solving puzzles, and finding new allies. If the mountain is an atmospheric but standard snowy location, its underside more closely resembles the eerie works of Zdzislaw Beksinski. With each saved follower, Ingja grows stronger. That's good for the embodiment of winter, but not so much for the lamb's flock, as the goddess's awakening brings the first frosts. After finishing the DLC and checking reviews, I was surprised to see many players calling it too short. It took me about 15 hours to complete, because Woolhaven isn't just a chain of dungeons and boss arenas. It's a full-fledged season packed with mechanics, new buildings, rituals, and activities. I felt similar excitement only after Reign of Giants for Don't Starve. The familiar world comes alive in entirely new colors. During harsh colds, the settlement's residents don't forget the little things. They play snowball fights, build snowmen, drink seasonal drinks, warm up by the fire, and soak in hot tubs. All that's missing is gifts under the tree and a Krampus with a sack of coal. Winter shakes up the entire settled life of the cult. With the frosts comes a new freezing meter. You need to build a furnace and remember to fuel it. You'll also have to craft warm wool clothing and stock up on warming drinks. Farms no longer yield crops, so rely on summer stockpiles or switch to meat. Of course, a weather station can predict winter's arrival, but the frosts always hit like a ton of bricks. Woolhaven's residents teach the lamb how to handle winter, for example, dancing by the fire to warm up or raising animals for meat and milk. As you progress, each winter gets tougher than the last. Regular frosts now come with blizzards, and packs of hungry wolves raid from the woods. You'll need to upgrade the furnace, learn new rituals, install heaters, monitor special fuel stocks, or even burn followers in the furnace and surround pens with traps. In this setup, the unique rotten followers are a godsend. They don't eat, don't sleep, and won't freeze. The only downside, they die after 10 days unless you find a cure for their affliction. You'll also need to marry and reform your followers, set up first aid stations, tinker with new decorations, revive snowmen, hire rotten workers, and even expand your lands to fit all the new buildings. I can't imagine how anyone could call a DLC with this much content short or boring. If you've been thinking about returning to building your own cult, Woolhaven's release is the perfect excuse to revisit an excellent game. Finish upgrading and beautifying your base, unlock tons of new recipes, admire gorgeous locations, master a new minigame, craft legendary weapons, and unravel the mystery hidden deep in the mountain. Plus, snag that elusive holiday vibe. Too late for this year, but I know exactly which game I'll be returning to next winter. Pros: a major new adventure, full winter season with tons of mechanics and activities. Design of rotten locations and characters, atmospheric music especially for one of the secondary bosses. From the late composer River Boy, even more hilarious voice acting for enemies and allies. Useful additions players have long requested: follower marriages and divorces, spy detection, first aid stations, and personality trait changes. Cons: occasional bugs from minor ones to those requiring a menu restart.